We improving our products each day. I'm really optimistic at this time. I'm supporting a lot of Ukrainian people, and I believe that this war should be stopped in the way acceptable to Ukrainian people. We're always looking for the new solutions. We're always looking for new opportunities. This is very important to know the people. If you know people, you can do everything.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I'm very happy to welcome in our Let's Talk session Saulius Stasiūnas, the CEO of LTG Cargo Ukraine. Saulius, very nice to see you. And obviously, you came to the market of Ukraine not so long time ago, like just 5 years ago. You entered Ukraine in 2020, and you already experienced quite many challenges, including from pandemic and afterwards full-scale invasion. How was your first 5-year period?
Maybe we would start a little bit introduce myself. So, dear partners, dear colleagues, hi to everyone. So actually, as Anna mentioned, I am CEO of LTG Cargo Ukraine. My name is Saulius Stasiūnas. I have been working for Lithuanian Railways group for 15 years. Actually, a huge experience in the railway business. Before that, I worked in the aviation business for 14 years. So entire career is basically, my career basically is about transport and transport management all my life. So a little bit about working in the railways has its own advantages. It is constantly changing business that forces you to never stop and look for the solutions. On the other hand, I have seen that I am some forms that I'm always looking for solutions. I'm optimist in by nature. All my colleagues asking, Saulius, you are always smiling. You're always optimist. I said, my answer is, I cannot be.
Otherwise,
Yes, exactly. So talking about my experience and about the LTG Cargo Ukraine, it's very good question. And this one basically we should be taking about 3 years, 22, 23, and 24. Since 21, I was appointed just in 21, March 11. So was the year of the establishment of the company. So the year of the formation of the services and the year of customer search. So in additional, in the main focus at that time was renting shunting locomotives. It was approved by the shareholder as a long-term strategy to Ukrainian customers. But the war was forced a change in strategic objectives. And for the past 3 years, the company has essentially operated as a forwarding company. And actually, we managed to do it quite well. In year 2024, we already reached nearly 3 million turnover. And I think it is good result. It means that time is when the war is in Ukraine. So, and actually we made a profit. So it's good for our shareholders. It's a good result for our team and good result, I think, for Ukrainian market because we already paid the tax, profit tax for Ukrainian budget. It means that we are.
Congratulations to all parties. You are really making a very good job.
We are supporting little bit, of course, little bit, but we are still supporting already in Ukrainian budget. What I'd like to mention, what was very important that both, in our company working Ukrainians and Lithuanians. So in our company, and we will get along very well, which is also one of the factors for achieving these positive results.
But was it easy? Or was it difficult for LTG Cargo to enter Ukrainian market? How would you explain and describe your impressions from doing business in Ukraine?
So actually, this is not so. From another hand, it is not so easy. From another hand, it is it's difficult one because we are working as a forwarding company, and the forwarding market is very competitive. So a lot of competitors in the market, in the forwarding business. But we have a good clients, we have a good relation with the partners, and we have good result because we improving our products each day. So what wants a client? If clients wants one logistic chain, we are ready to do that. If clients wants another logistic chains, we are ready to do that. Why we are ready to do that? Because we have a good partners. I mean partners in logistic chain. It means in Ukraine, in Poland, in Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia. And we also started work with the Romanian market, with the Bulgarian market. So actually, we are looking for some kind of niche, and we are working in this niche. We are not so big, but we are working for the niche what wants client to have.
How many persons do you have in the company already in Ukraine?
We are 6, 3 Ukrainians, 3 Lithuanians.
And how the war has changed the portrait of company. So what kind of changes it brought to the operation of the company? How would you actually describe this?
Good question, and not so easy to answer. Actually, we are part of the Lithuanian Railways Group. Lithuanian Railways are a state-owned company or belongs to the state. So we have a Lithuanian Railways Group, and we have a strong shareholder. We have a shareholder, LTG Cargo, who are supporting us very much. So, and we are more comfortable with that. So it means that we can move even with some kind of losses, but of course, at the end of the day, we are looking for the profit. So shareholders are supporting, and it's not a problem, with the financing or another issues. So
But
maybe
you make money even during the war, which is really
yeah.
good, and it is fair, and it is something why business is being shaped for. So in this respect, even really respect to you that you make this money. At the same time, somehow it seems to me during this 3 years period or even more, everyone in Ukraine goes through certain evolution and change. We are trying to adjust to adopt the different strategies. What in your case was this evolution? What your company was about when you entered the like February 2022, and where you are now?
So actually, not so easy to answer. For me personally, when I was appointed as a CEO of LTG Cargo Ukraine, for me a little bit was it easier because all my experience in the railway business was a responsibility for commercial issues, develop logistic chains. As I was probably one of the most active ambassador in the development of the Viking train, Baltic Ukrainian shuttle, and our project of intermodal train. And Ukrainian business was very, very well known for me, and the business contacts I have made it easier to enter in the market. And I have a lot of respect for the people who work even in Ukrainian railways. So it was a little bit, easier to do that because you have, some partners, you have clients, the business, the market, people. This is very, very important to know the people. If you know people, you can do everything what you want to do. So it is not necessary to make a huge profit or millions of millions, but you should have a niche, have good clients, good partners, and you can do everything what you want to do, like a European Business Association.
Do you see that the amount of those ones who would like to be your client, the amount grows?
Yeah, it is, it depends. Everything is depends, it's difficult to have, some long-term plans because of the war. Nobody knows when the war will stop, how it looks after the war. So it is difficult to plan the growing. So, and we're always looking for the new solutions. We're always looking for new opportunities. We're always looking for the new projects. It means that we are not stopped at one product. as from 22, 23, we started to provide the service, logistics service from Ukraine to Lithuania, from Lithuania to Ukraine. Now we are looking for a service to Romania, to Bulgaria, to even Slovakia. So, as you know, you are always, moving. You are always moving. You cannot stop if you want to do some result. Of course, you can sit and just see how looks life, but
But no, it's not your style, which is very good because you said that you're optimist. So in this respect, you need to move all the time and you need to look for new options and new solutions. But maybe let me ask a little bit a different question with regards to potential risks because you're coming from Lithuania and obviously, now everybody is talking about potential risk of invading even Baltic countries from Russian Federation. How do you see this risk for you? Do you think that it is material risk for the operations of LTG and LTG Ukraine, and how you are preparing yourself, or do you prepare at all for this kind of potential challenge?
I am not a politician one. So we are doing business and we are trying to do that. Of course, always risks, even in the peacetime.
Mm-hmm.
So always risk. We are, we are neighboring with Russia. So,
yeah, but the point is why I'm asking because you can have this risk, but you can disregard it and you cannot prepare for any potential, consequences. But if you consider that this risk is getting higher, then you might prepare some contingency planning to avoid negative, I would say, impact on your business. So my question was rather, do you prepare something in order to mitigate negative circumstances and consequences, or you just disregard this risk, you just keep it somewhere as a passive potential threat, but nevertheless you don't prepare your business for some manifestation of this risk?
yes, of course, the risk management exists. Why I'm talking about Romania, Bulgaria, Slovakia, this is again risk management. So
Uh-huh.
talking about LTG group, yes, certainly. We are also implemented risk management, and now we are operating in Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Poland. So we are official railway company in these four countries. Now we are looking for the Germany market, which is also a very interesting market, and this belongs to the risk management. So we are not staying only in Lithuania, but we are growing to another countries. Of course, Latvia, Estonia, it's also a risky country, but Poland, Germany. So we are, I think we successfully implemented risk management.
You're right. Really, it is one of the options to reduce the risks, which is really very, I would say, fair approach. But let me ask you the question about you. What kind of somehow takeaways you already have after 3 years of full-scale invasion? How these 3 years impacted your life and your personality?
Wow, so many difficult questions today. So we are still very good friends with partners and clients in Ukraine. We are coming to Lithuania. We are coming sometimes, sometimes to Ukraine, but it is just not so often. 2 times a year. So
You're not based in Ukraine, right? So you're based.
for the
Ah,
moment, me personally, I am not based in Ukraine. We based in Vilnius in our I would say head office. LTG Cargo, but our Ukrainians who is working in Ukraine, they are in Ukraine.
ah.
So part of that in Lithuania, part of that in Ukraine, and we are also thanks God for the teams channels and so on, and everything is quite good. At the pandemic time, we, all of us we worked how not in office, but by online regime. Yes, uh, through Teams or Zoom or another channels. So we have experience. Now we have the time, good time when we established the company. We started to do that. We invited people who working with us, so on and so on. So now the time of the war, So we know how it works. We can work even not in the office. It is not necessary to be in the office. Office is much better to see Anna in office and ask for a cup of coffee, you know. But life is, you know, business don't need to have a huge or big or nice office. You can do it. You can work without any office. But of course, office is needs because the people should talk with each other, and not only by the computer. People need to be together. People
Closer
need
to, yeah,
to have
to
some.
be close to each other. Yeah.
People need to have, you know, not only time in the office. People need to have time after official working hours. So
Mhm. But it's interesting. So basically, you maintain this distant working system so that you can really run business and make money and make profitable business, even sitting in remote. And your office continues to function. Why I was asking, because there is also some part of companies which would like to bring people back to office. They somehow try to return people back to office. In your case, you see that still the efficiency doesn't drop, right, from being distant workings.
efficiency is growing, not dropping. So it's good. And you know, of course, some difficulties exist. You know,
Mhm.
but
Like which?
the difficulty is that you cannot reach like a client, you cannot reach a partner right now or for tomorrow or after tomorrow. You need to call, you need to talk with your via the phone, or you need to talk via, you know, the computer, via Teams channel and so on. So it's not a really good partnership. When you have a partner from the previous times, you know him, or he know me, you know, in person. But it means that you should time to time to have, you know, how would say, live conversation. You have a live meeting, you know, and so on. And this is not so, it's not so good. But when you people you know very well, you are friends, you can do it by the distance. So of course, our partners is coming to Vilnius. We are, as I said, coming to the border, Poland, Ukraine, and we have a meetings at the border with Ukraine. We have meetings in Lviv, we have meetings in Kiev, but it is not each day. It's
Mhm.
a little bit different business. Of course, we are
Mhm.
growing, but we still believe that war will finish.
Yes, it is it seems to me it's hope for everyone, except for probably our
Mhm.
neighbors.
Everyone's talked about that war will finish at the end of the 22. Later on, at the end of the 23. Later on at 24. Now, you know, this is the time. What? So
Yeah,
peace.
now we think that at
War.
some point the war might finish at some
But
point, right?
I'm really optimistic at this time. I'm supporting a lot of Ukrainian people, and I believe that this war should be stopped, and stopped in the way acceptable to Ukrainian people, not to Putin, but to Ukrainian people. And all Europe understood that. I think one of the ministers said, the president of one country also are coming to understood that this war cannot be stopped very easy, by the easy way. It should be, you know, some, you know, pressure. It should be pressure, and after that, all the world should understood that, you know, the rules is not acceptable like that. The rules is different from the previous times.
You're right. So there should be really some rule of law in place, but also let me probably also send some thank you also from our people to Baltic states as well, because we also feel the support of your nations. And frankly speaking, this is something which is always needed. And we and Ukraine, we are now suffering probably most likely the most, because people are dying, people are really not sleeping every
Yes.
day. but nevertheless, still the support of international world, democratic world is really very much needed, and Baltic states here also play substantial role. But let me come back probably to business in this respect, and what kind of challenges, like key challenges you see nowadays for LTG Ukraine, like top three, for example, apart from war.
Good question. Another difficult question.
Do you face a problem of people, maybe? Because quite often, companies complain about human resources in Ukraine, that it's difficult to find people.
Yeah, the human
Retain.
resources one of the problem is not a huge problem, but this is still the problem because you cannot find the employee what you want to have because a lot of people left Ukraine and I think very experienced people in logistic business. So another problem is regarding the human resources is war restrictions. Yes, if you want to have a good employee with a good experience in logistic business, what you are looking. Now we are looking for women because this is easy a little bit to work with the women because they can move from Ukraine. So the guys they cannot move from Ukraine. There's some, I would say, restrictions or
Without reservation, they cannot.
without reservation. That's right. So and it's not easy to have this reservation. So another one, this is that the transport business, especially railway business, is very closed. It means what very closed. I do not want to use the word of monopoly, but it's full monopoly by Ukrainian railways. And this is no chance to have business like the railway company. You can do the forwarding business, maybe some wagon operators business, but you cannot do business like in Europe. The market is closed and market is fully under the Ukrainian railways control. So I know that the discussion regarding this issue with the European Commission is on the table. So, and I believe that the market will be opened, and this is another opportunities for the business. And I think it should be I would say, quite beneficial for Ukraine, because when the market is closed, you have only one product. If you go to the shop and want to buy milk, you can choose. Now you cannot choose. Just one service, one provider, one company. So it means that the market is not open to do business for the private companies, for the another companies, for the European Union companies. Maybe this is the question is not so easy one, but it should be discussed. And should be opened.
But is it then that visible that Ukrainian market is so closed, right? So if you are telling about this, you really experience that, for example, in Lithuania, in Poland, and Germany,
Yes.
railway markets are much more open, right?
Yeah, it's absolutely open. We have open markets according to European Union regulation. And as example, in Poland, if I'm correct, 84 or 89 railway companies. 84 or 89. In Germany, even more. So it means that the markets in European Union are fully open.
Interesting.
Even in Romania, what was interesting for me, 39 railway companies, Romania. And just to compare, the market of the railway business in Ukraine before the war was 300 million tons. Now it is 175 million tons, but growing. Compared to the year 2023, it's growing. So Romania, 39 railway companies, railway business, 12 million tons. Compare. It means that the products are very competitive. Pricing is very competitive. And this is what we need for client. Quality and price. First line is quality, the second line is price.
Then let's hope that actually the way of Ukraine to European integration can help to open up a railway market as well, right?
Yes, but this is not only competition. It is not only railway market should be opening just for the railway companies. The investments are huge because this investments comes with the railway companies to infrastructure, to the railway station, to the locals, to the wagons, so whatsoever, and huge amounts of investments are coming to Ukraine. What it means? This means a lot of money in Ukraine market, a lot of market in Ukraine budget.
Yeah, but then let me ask you this question. If, for example, you are referring to absolutely correct things, and I totally with you, and I'm sure that our listeners and readers they will also support us. Let me just ask from a little bit different angle. Do you believe that all those investments would come to Ukraine even during wartime, or it will be necessary to wait until the war is over?
Yeah, good question. I think after war will stop.
Mhm, mhm.
Because this is where we are talking about a huge. Of course, some investments are coming. Some investments are coming right now during a war time. So, but I think the most and the biggest investments will come after the war. The market and European market and even the United States markets, as we already discussed about that, the risk management still exists because a huge amount. If I put the money to infrastructure, billions. So, and after that, Putin attacks the infrastructure. What's the result? No money, no honey.
Thank you very much, Saulius. You know, it seems to me you explained really very well, and I'm very happy that your company really makes profit in Ukraine. And let me wish you that you increase operations and you increase your profits. But the key thing which I would like to wish you and all your staff members and all our member companies and beyond is peace in Ukraine, sustainable peace in Ukraine, because I think that it will definitely change the landscape of the business environment in Ukraine. Thank you so much.
At the end, I would like to end the conversation with a Winston Churchill's farewell. If I had not made mistakes, I would not have achieved so much.